Once upon a time, in a world much like our own, but filled with extraordinary beings possessing incredible powers, there existed a grand society of superheroes known as the Alliance. For centuries, they had worked together to protect the world from all manner of threats and bring justice to the oppressed. But as the years passed, their unity began to fracture, and a rift grew within their ranks. At the heart of the division was a fundamental disagreement about the role of superheroes in the world. On one side, there were those who believed that they should act as benevolent overseers, intervening in every conflict and ensuring that justice was served swiftly and decisively. They were led by the charismatic and powerful superhero, Vanguard, whose unwavering dedication to protecting the innocent often bordered on the authoritarian. On the other side were those who believed that superheroes should act as guardians, stepping in only when absolutely necessary and allowing humanity to solve its problems without their constant intervention. This group was led by the wise and empathetic superhero, Serafina, who believed that the over-reliance on superheroes was hindering the growth and development of humanity. As the divide deepened, the Alliance began to splinter into the factions. Vanguard's followers called themselves the Sentinels, while Serafina's supporters formed the Watchers. Each faction held firm to its beliefs, and tensions rose with each passing day. The first spark that ignited the war came when a city was under attack by a powerful supervillain known as Oblivion. Vanguard and his Sentinels quickly swooped in, employing their immense power to confront the threat head-on. They defeated Oblivion, but in the process, they caused significant collateral damage to the city, resulting in many civilian casualties. The Watchers saw this as evidence of the dangers of unchecked superhero intervention. They argued that such heavy-handed tactics only bred resentment and hostility, and that the world needed a more measured and cautious approach to dealing with threats. Vanguard, on the other hand, defended their actions, claiming that their swift response had saved countless lives. The conflict escalated, and soon, battles between the Sentinels and the Watchers became commonplace. Cities were torn apart as the factions clashed, and the once revered superheroes became the cause of widespread fear and concern among ordinary people. Caught in the middle of this escalating war were the ordinary citizens and other superheroes, who did not align with either faction. Many superheroes chose to remain neutral, believing that there was merit in both arguments. They tried to broker peace between the Sentinels and the Watchers, but their efforts were in vain. In the midst of this chaos, an ancient prophecy emerged, foretelling that the continued war between the superheroes would lead to the destruction of the world they had vowed to protect. This prophecy was said to be written by a seer who had glimpsed the future and saw the catastrophic consequences of the division. This prophecy served as a wake-up call for some members of the Sentinels and the Watchers. Vanguard and Serafina, who had been blinded by their own convictions, now understood that they needed to find a way to reconcile their differences for the greater good. They called for a truce and a gathering of all superheroes to discuss the prophecy and chart a new path forward. In a tense and emotional meeting, Vanguard and Serafina put aside their egos and differences to find common ground. They recognized that both their approaches had strengths and weaknesses and that a balanced approach was needed. They decided to form a council that would include representatives from both factions, as well as neutral superheroes, to collectively decide when and how to intervene in conflicts. It wasn't an easy process, and many grudges still lingered. However, over time, the council began to work together, and the division between the Sentinels and the Watchers slowly dissolved. They realized that they were stronger together, embracing their diversity of perspectives and powers as a united force. The Alliance once again stood tall, defending the world from threats without causing unnecessary harm. They became symbols of hope and inspiration, reminding humanity that, even in the face of differences, cooperation and understanding were essential for progress. And so, the superheroes' war came to an end, replaced by a new era of cooperation, compassion, and unity. The lessons learned from their conflict served as a beacon for generations to come. ensuring that the world would never forget the importance of finding common ground in the face of adversity.